Mikey. How's it going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy YuGiOh, and today I'm coming at you with my Majespecter YuGiOh deck profile. So, if you don't know, I'm really excited for this deck. I haven't been this excited for a very long time, maybe since Clifford's was announced. So I'm really hyped up. This is going to be the next big deck I spent a lot of money in. This is going to be the next deck I actually will run in tournaments. Lately, I have been out, since I came back from Japan, I have been out of the tournaments. I've been getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty slowly, but I'm getting back in there. I'm not tournament ready yet, but I know this deck comes out in a few months. I mean, I think maybe like in December or something of that nature. So around that time, I'm going to be really hyped up. So let's go ahead and hop right into this deck. So first thing first, this deck is not a fast deck. It's not one of those decks that you can just TKO your opponent really fast. Basically what you want to do is get these little monsters on the field, get a lot of searches, and poke at your opponent's life points until they die. Now, the main thing about this deck is their back row. They need back row to stay alive. If your opponent destroys your back row, your monsters is going to pretty much be screwed. So let's hop right into it. So the first one we have is Cat, Majespecter Cat. Now, all the Majespecters share an effect, and that effect is that they cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. This is not the first type of card like this, but this is actually the first art type that cannot be targeted or destroyed. That's what makes them really viable in the game. That's what a lot of people says makes them OP. I disagree. They're not OP yet because they don't have that much support to really destroy your opponent. I just think that people have to start playing other cards in their decks. So first thing first, we have Cat. So basically what Cat does is Cat searches any Majespecter card out of your deck to your hand at the end phase. If it's special summon or normal summon, doesn't matter. He's a pendulum scale of 2. We have Raccoon. I really like Raccoon. Raccoon allows you to get a monster search through your deck when this card is special summon or normal summon, right when he's special summon or normal summon. So you don't have to wait. He really adds something to your hand. He really hooks you up. And he has a pendulum scale of 5. We have Crow that has a pendulum scale of 5 also. He searches out one Majespecter spell card. This is really awesome because you can go for your quick play card and really destroy your opponent's stuff. We have Unicorn. Now, I've been really experimenting with Unicorn. Unicorn is a very great card. Now, at first, I was really upset about Unicorn because I wanted a Majespecter that can search traps. But Unicorn really kicks ass. And the main reason it does is you can compose your opponent monster on your turn or on your opponent's turn. During battle phase, during the end phase, he's a continuous compose. And that's what makes him really good. And he's a beater and he cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So at the end phase, or your opponent's getting ready to do a major play, bounce it. Now I have these 3 monsters here. Flying Kashuma #1. I probably butchered his name. Now he just really is in the deck to really special summon these monsters out of the deck, because this deck does open up really slow a lot of times. Now I run 2 effect bailers. Now my build is more of an oppression build. It's not a beatdown build. What I want to do to my opponent is not allow my opponent to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't want him to have his monster effects. I don't want him to summon, and I don't want him to special summon. Now the field card here, Majespecter Pegasus. This field card is great. It speeds the deck up so fast. So first thing first, it gains 500 attack and defense for all your Majespecters. That's great right there by itself. Then you can tribute one of your monsters to special summon another Majespecter from your deck. So the cool thing about it is you can summon Raccoon, get that search, tribute for Raccoon, special summon Crow, and get that extra search going on. So you just +2 just right there. Or you can have Crow on the field, tribute, go for Raccoon, get a Majespecter to your hand, and probably set up a pendulum scale and special summon everything back. So we have Majespecter Cyclone, great card. I use it a lot when I go for a Crow. Get those monsters off the field, tribute a Majespecter monster, and destroy one of your monsters, your opponent monsters. Then we have Mirror Moon Shield. Now, I originally had this card at 2, at 3 at first, but then I bumped it down to 2, and now I have it at 1 because I was really getting a lot of clog with it. With all these monsters, well, with these monsters, and once I get Unicorn on the field, I really don't need Mirror Moon Shield. It helps, it really helps, but I think 1 is good enough for me because if it's destroyed, you pay 500, you can put it at the bottom or the top of the deck, but at the same time, I had a lot of clogging with this card. So I think 1 is really good. We have Regeki for the main reason, destroy your opponent monsters, and this is something I added at the last minute. This is Pot of Duality. This really allows you to pick up 3 cards, look at them, and add 1. It's really good when you need a Majespecter monster. Something that I really run, problem I really run in this deck is not having enough monsters. Now, if you know anything about me when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I like to play monster heavy. And playing only 16 monsters really kind of sucks. So I have to play something that can search these monsters out. Then we have Majespecter Tornado. Great card. This right here banishes your opponent monsters. And one thing I like about this card is, like, if you're going against Shaw Dolls, it banish those monsters. Don't allow them to get that extra add to their hand. And then we have Majespecter Tempest. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Great card. Negate your opponent monster effect by tribute one of your Majespecters. Also, Tornado has a tribute on Majespecter. Negate a special summon or your opponent monster effect. I use the hell out of these cards here. Too good. It's a warning. It's a warning. And it negates your opponent monster effect and destroys it. Oh my goodness. Too good. Too good. Then we have Venus Chain. I had it at 3, but I needed to add these pots in, so I took it down to 2. Venus Chain is great for a simple reason. Once again, negate your opponent monster effects, but then again, stopping your opponent from attacking. It really helps. We have 1 Bottomless Hole. We have 1 more Compulse. That's just to screw your opponent over when you have something like Unicorn on the field, or you just want to bounce a monster. We have a Warning. Now, if you know anything about me, I never like Warning. I never play Warning in any of my decks except now, and the main reason is because I have these, it's like having 4 warnings in the deck. Your opponent just cannot summon, and your opponent gets mad and they just rage quit. Then we have 3 Force Back. It's a free, if your opponent summons something, negate this summon, and a lot of times they scoop it up, or they're gonna have to set a lot of cards and pass turn. Your monster's not affected by their back row mostly, and not just that, it's just a good card. It is really, really good. I don't want you to summon. I don't want you to have effects. I don't want you to special summon. And finally, Vanity and Emptiness. Now, this card doesn't slow the deck down for the simple reason you're really not doing a lot of special summoning unless you have the pendulum scales up. And if you do have the pendulum scales up and you're special summoning a lot, all your cards tribute your monsters. So a card's going to go to the graveyard and destroy your Vanity and Emptiness. This is just to stop my opponent. So we go down here to the extra deck. Now, truthfully, I don't use these extra decks to win. I'm going to be truthful with you. I rarely used it. Total Bird, I tried it. I don't really like it. And really, I don't like going for a seeds because your monsters go to the graveyard and you can't pin on some of them back. But one card I am really pretty happy about is YuGiOh Guardian. He really works. Everything else I just kind of stuffed in there. I mean, Sector Knight, I mean, you might go into a situation where you really need that monster special, pin on scale, maybe 2 crows on the field, and do whatever you got to do to get rid of your opponent monster or special summon and take your opponent's special summon monster. Now for the side deck, I'm really been working on it. First thing first is MST. MST is a very powerful card. Let's see here. Secret Village of the Spellcaster. Great card. Really, really good. If your opponent's playing a lot of spell cards, you know, you like screw this, side this in. It's a really good card. I'm playing 1 Ring of Destruction on the side just to get rid of my opponent cards, monsters. And we have Galaxy Cyclone. Once again, destroy your opponent's back row and their face up and set cards. And right here is, I feel, is going to be a very powerful card. This is Air Force. I think they changed the name a little bit. I think it's like Stormant Mirror Force or something of that nature. But originally the name was Air Force. This card here is going to be very powerful. I think that if this card comes out secret, it's going to be a very expensive card. I'm going to rack up on these cards here. Now, a little bit about this deck. This deck is beatable. It's very beatable. It's very slow. If your opponent can push and destroy you at the first few turns, they're going to win. Now, the main thing about this deck is how you can beat it is destroying your opponent back row. So MST, things of that nature, will definitely destroy your opponent back row. And Air Force, this card here, really gets rid of your Majespecters because it doesn't target and doesn't destroy your Majespecter monsters. It bounces everything back to the hand that's in attack mode. For a mirror match, I had a few mirror matches and it was like, oh man, it was just a very, very long match because we really couldn't do anything to each other. We couldn't infect Baylor each other. We couldn't get rid of our Majespecters. But I ran into Air Force and won the game. It was just like, oh, he attacked, I Air Forced him, got rid of all his stuff. I'm actually running Ghost Orb and Snow Rabbit, and the main reason is, once again, it's another oppression card to destroy my opponent monsters. I don't want them on the field. I don't want to give them a chance to attack. But I think cards like this is something a lot of people is going to start to run. So if you have cards that doesn't target and doesn't destroy, start picking those up now, because when Majespecters come out, I feel like the hype is going to be real. They're probably going to have a few more cards that come out, and I think the Order of Chaos, and you know, it's going to have a lot of hype. People's going to want to play that. A lot of people already saying this is tier 0. And same thing with a lot of decks. When a lot of new decks come out, a lot of people don't know what kind of cards to use to get rid of the monsters, so they assume that it's going to be tier 0 or tier 1. I feel like the deck is good, but I don't believe it's going to be tier 0, tier 1, maybe tier 2, 3. It's going to be a powerful deck, but it's going to be slow. You're going to need to have your resources. So that's all I have today. If you think I should add something in, or you think I should take something out, please let me know in the comment box below. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. It really helps the channel. And thanks for watching. Please thumb up for Majespecters. This deck here is going to be awesome.